Welcome to the Daily Devo. My name is Donna, and today we're talking about Jesus as the bread of life. As we continue exploring scriptures that reveal who Jesus is, today we're going to look at John 6, verse 35 and 48, where Jesus says, "I am the bread of life." Let's read it together. "I am the bread of life," Jesus told them. "No one who comes to me will ever be hungry, and no one who believes in me will ever be thirsty again." Verse 48, "I am the bread of life." So what is Jesus saying here? Is he really comparing himself to bread? Let's rewind a bit. Earlier in chapter 6, we see Jesus feed the 5,000 with just 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish. Afterwards, Jesus and the disciples try to retreat from the crowds and find some rest, but the people quickly find them again. And when the crowds begin to gather, they ask Jesus, "What must we do in order to perform the works of God?" Jesus responds, "Believe in the one God has sent." He's referring to himself. But despite all the miraculous signs he's already given, the crowd dares to ask for yet another sign. They reference the miracle of God giving manna, the bread of heaven, to the Israelites while they wandered in the wilderness. "Give us a sign like that," they asked. Now, this is where Jesus steps in to reveal a deeper truth. He tells them, "It wasn't Moses who gave you bread from heaven, but my Father. The true bread from God is the one who comes down from heaven and gives life to the world." Jesus is pointing again at himself as the true bread. Believing and trusting in him is like consuming eternal bread. It nourishes and sustains us in ways physical bread never can. When Jesus says he is the bread of life, he's telling us he is the source of true life. Without him, just as our bodies waste away without food, our souls wither without his life-giving presence. Jesus being the bread of life has 2 parts. First, we must believe in him. That's the initial partaking of this bread that brings us life. Then we must keep returning for more, to be continually filled and sustained by him. With Jesus as our bread, our source of life, we should always be satisfied. Nothing in this world, no matter how much we gain or lack, can fill us or sustain us like he can. The pleasures and riches of this world may offer temporary satisfaction, but they won't last. We'll always be left hungry for more. When Jesus calls himself the bread of life, he's also foreshadowing his death. Fast forward to the Last Supper where he breaks the bread and says, "This is my body broken for you." Once again, he's comparing himself to the bread, establishing that he is the bread of life. While physical food keeps us alive temporarily, believing in Jesus as the bread of life gives us eternal life, life that goes beyond this temporary existence. So what does this mean for us today? Just like we rely on food to sustain our physical bodies, we need to rely on Jesus daily for our spiritual nourishment. It's not a one-time event. We must keep coming back to him, seeking his presence, his word, and his guidance for our lives. Ask yourself, are you trying to satisfy your hunger with the things that won't last? Is there an area in your life where you might have been looking for fulfillment outside of Jesus? Today, take a moment to refocus and turn to him as your ultimate source. Spend some time in prayer, read his word, and allow him to fill the areas of your life where you feel empty. Remember, Jesus promises that when we come to him, we will never be hungry or thirsty again. He offers us satisfaction that the world simply cannot provide. Let's trust him to be our bread of life, the one who sustains us, not just for today, but for eternity.